What is up, guys? I do hope you're well. My name is Mark, and today we're covering some more r/am I the butthole. If you're new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe, just maybe, that notification bell too, as it really does help out our channel. And don't forget you can follow us on podcast now, so you can take us with you wherever you go. And also you can support us on either YouTube membership and Patreon too. But as I always say, absolutely no pressure to do so, only if you feel like it. But it is really appreciated. And also every subscriber here, the time out your day absolutely blows me away. So just, thank you so much for being here. It really does mean the world to me. And with that being said, let's get into today's stories. Much love, guys. Our first story comes from Romanian Witch. Am I the arsehole for banning my husband's female friend from our house? Throwaway account, English is not my first language. On my mobile, I apologise. I, 27 female, have been married with my husband, male 32, for 3 years and have been dating for a little over 5. My husband has this friend, Mary. They've known each other since they were in high school and she's considered one of the boys, if you may. That basically means she's always invited to all fishing trips and stuff, which I don't mind at all. I trust my husband. Well, my problems with Mary started when she first found out I'm half Romanian. It started kinda innocently, with her asking me to say certain words, teach her some insults, etc., which didn't necessarily bother me, but it usually put me on the spot whenever we were out with my husband's group of friends. It only escalated to her googling stuff about Romania and asking me, "Are you a vampire? Do you bite your husband by the neck? Are you a gypsy? I bet you got some of that gypsy blood in you," which is just blatantly racist. Last week, me and my husband organised a mini barbecue with our friends, and Mary was invited by my husband, despite me telling him she makes me uncomfortable. He said he had talked to her about her remarks, and she's been understanding, so it's unlikely she'll say something this time. It was midnight and there were about 4 of us left, and I accidentally spilled some red wine on Mary's jeans when I tripped over a carpet. All hell broke loose. Mary started saying I'm a witch and I'm trying to ruin her life, and this whole thing is part of my ritual, and said I'm just an immigrant gypsy trying to ruin my husband's life, and I've poisoned my husband against her. I started crying and profusely apologising. When she wouldn't drop it, I kicked her out and banned her from ever coming to my house again. Am I the arsehole for doing this? My husband insists that Mary was just drunk and talking nonsense, and he would talk to her. He also told me I'm way too sensitive about my heritage and I'm an a-hole for banning her. Mary has since given me a half-hearted apology, but I'm still not okay with her. Edit, I guess this is the update some of you wanted. Sorry I'm still a mess, and I don't know how coherent I am. We've talked. He admitted to being in and out of an affair with Mary in the first 2 years of our relationship, and she wanted to win him back, I guess. I called my mum to help me pack some stuff up, and I'm out. That's it. Mary can have him. I've been gaslit for years, and it took this Reddit post to realise. Oh, the irony. Thank you, Reddit. Edit 2, and probably the last one for a period of time. A lot of people seem suspicious of Mary and my husband's friendship/relationship, etc. and I've asked if I ever suspected anything. No, I didn't. Me and my husband had, or I thought we had, a very strong relationship. Based on communication and honesty. Guess it only applied to me. Also, Mary is very close with all the boys in the said friendship group. The other wives raised concern in the past, but they've all been shut down by the boys in the group, or by Mary herself. I guess I've always respected their friendship group because they were very close for so long, and it felt unfair to change that because of me. As far as I'm aware, the other wives feel the same. Plus, Mary has been in an LD relationship for about 2 years and always claims she's focusing on her career. She's too busy, etc., so none of us ever saw her as a potential threat. But now it just makes me think there could be more to this story, but I'm tired as of right now. I'm just exhausted. My Romanian witch blood won't let me live until I found out the whole truth, but I need time. Thank you to everyone who took time to reply to my post, message me, even the ones that insulted me further. It was semi-funny, and thank you for the awards. I'm sending virtual hugs to all of you, and then some Romanian words, which I'm not going to try to say. Aveti Grija Devoy. I had to give it a go in the end. When I was first going through this story, I was thinking, oh yeah, it's just an innocent friendship that they've had for a long time, so there's no foul play here kind of thing. But then as it was going on, it was becoming more and more. The husband was defending her more and more, and like saying like Mary was just drunk, where being drunk is just not an excuse. I hate it when people use that as an excuse. And then saying something like, you are way too sensitive about your heritage. and then an arsehole for banning her. I mean, what the hell, man? Defend your wife if you're going to, but it's clear why he didn't in the end. Ugh. So yes, you're not the arsehole in this situation. Your husband and Mary are both major arseholes. Before we dive down into the comments, you have to consider that a lot of these could be before the updates, so take that into consideration. Zodiac Zach says, not the arsehole. I think your husband needs to reevaluate the fact that he's friends with someone that's so disrespectful to his own wife. Ishmael says, also just drunk is not an excuse. If that's how you're when you're drunk, then don't get drunk. Luna Lee says, not the arsehole. She's being racist and your husband should be standing up for you. Maybe down the line, if her behaviour improves, you could consider rescinding the ban. But unless that happens, you're doing a reasonable thing and he should be in your corner on this one. And the OP replied to that one, which could have been before the update as well. Honestly, I don't know if I'm ever going to be okay with her. What I didn't mention in the post is that these remarks have been going on for years. For example, Mary watched that movie 365 Days around March, and apparently two friends call each other kurwa and started calling me that. In Polish, that could be considered a joking way to address a close friend. However, in Romanian, it is considered derogatory. It means prostitute, but like worse term, and pretty much no one would use that word when referring to a friend. When told to stop, Mary said, I'm too sensitive. I'm just tired of being insulted. You know, it almost feels like a big joke behind OP's back. This Mary and the husband, they're both calling her sensitive and both basically just taking the piss behind her back. Damn, man. Anyway guys, I turn this one to you. What do you guys think of this story? And only answer if you want to, of course. Let us know in the comments below and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 1. Our next story is from Drama Regarding Kids. Am I the arsehole for shutting down talk about having kids with purposely controversial statements? Our region has done well handling the virus, so my husband and I had a small group of family over for a backyard barbecue a month ago. We're the ones in the family left who don't have kids. We're not going to. We prefer our lives as mountaineers. His family thinks we'll change our minds. Mind you, husband had the snip. Mother-in-law jokingly mentioned that maybe, with all the alone time, we'd be giving the family a bundle of joy. We shut the idea down with good humour. She kept pressing and SIL chimed in with, come on, this is the perfect time to get started. Husband said, we've talked about this already, let's drop it. Mother-in-law said, well, I don't care. Again, drop it. Mother-in-law says, I hope it happens. Husband then says, thankfully, we're very careful. Accidents happen. It isn't always up to you. Yes, it is. I've had a vasectomy. Like I said, discussion over. Can we move on? We do, but mother-in-law and sister-in-law are whispering to each other and shooting glances, looking at their phones, etc. Brother-in-law and I are laughing about something dumb on TV. Seems like everything is fine. Until sister-in-law says, vasectomies can fail, you know. It's not a 100% thing. It gets quiet. Mother-in-law and sister-in-law look smug. Then mother-in-law says, so there's still a chance you can get pregnant. You can never be sure. Husband and I lock eyes. Party's over. I say, that's exactly what abortions are for. Cue screaming and yelling, I'm evil, cruel bitch, what kind of monster, etc. His family are all supposedly pro-choice. Husband yells at them to get the fuck out. Don't talk to me like that. Mother-in-law gets up in his face and yells that I said I would kill her grandbabies. How could he stand to hear it? Then my husband says, and I would hold her fucking hand the entire time because it's what both of us would want. Party's over. Cue Facebook shitstorm. Mother-in-law posts and tags us and says, we were having a nice family get together and OP and husband had to bait us with purposely controversial statements. Every mum lives to see her babies have babies. Yesterday I was told that my cruel DIL would murder my grandbabies if she got pregnant and my son would hold her hand while she did it. I do not feel like we're arseholes, even for how we handled the situation. There was no getting through to them without being direct and final. This isn't the first time we tried to get them to drop the subject. However, other family members really think we're in the wrong and that I went over the line. Reddit, were we the arseholes here? Well, the one thing that wound me up straight away is that she turned to Facebook to post a public statement about it. I mean, for fuck's sake, why do people do this? Why do people air their dirty laundry on Facebook? It's so ridiculous. And we're going to dive straight down into the comments below for this one. Chairmanka93 says, not the arsehole. You both are probably going to have to block her and cut her out for a while. Life is too short for this kind of drama. Zebra Stampede says, not the arsehole at all. They started it. I also would have asked them why they're so interested in your sex life, lol. Long term though, you may consider using the grey rock method with them, which might have more sustainable results. Someone said, "What's that?" And Zebra replied, "Picture a grey rock, unremarkable, forgettable and similar to countless other scatters nearby. Even the most enthusiastic collector probably wouldn't have a lot to say about this rock. So, if you want to escape notice, becoming a grey rock might seem like a good way to go about it. People can't actually turn into rocks, but that's where the idea of grey rocking comes from. This strategy involves becoming the most boring and uninteresting person you can be when interacting with a manipulative person. Ideally, over time they realise they won't get a reaction out of you, and they stop whatever offensive behaviour they were doing." I've got to personally disagree with that. I don't think you should ever become a grey rock to a manipulative person. I think they need to be told straight to their face what they're doing, and just told to fucking stop. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 2. Our next story is from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for not wearing a bra around my cousin who's recovering from a porn addiction? So I, female 18, have gone braless for almost about 2 years now. I wear bralettes or sports bras on the occasion, but you won't catch me in a padded bra. For what it's worth, I'm super flat anyways, and most of the time people really can't tell the difference. On to the story. I was invited yesterday to a small barbecue with close family at my grandmother's house. It was 98 degrees and the whole event was outside. I have 4 cousins, one of which is male 25, and it's a well-known fact now in our family he's recovering from a porn addiction. He's lost his fiancée of 2 years due to it, but recently he's been doing better. It's obviously not something anyone ever brings up or talks about due to the nature of the subject. Well, I was wearing a strapless top with no bra on, and halfway through my aunt asked me if I could go and put something different on, or a coat, because she's worried I was going to put thoughts in my cousin's head that would sway his progress. I was offended and told her that I wouldn't be changing because it's too hot. I'm his cousin, he shouldn't be looking at me like that anyways, and if he can't see a set of shoulders or a tube top, that must mean he can't go outside at all. They left early, and since I've been getting slammed by all my family for ruining the 4th of July get together and ruining my cousin's progress and life, I feel like shit and I'm regretting that I didn't just change. So am I the arsehole? Thanks in advance. You know, I get addiction of things is incredibly difficult, but he's going to get difficult times. He's not going to be like, his eyes ain't going to be covered the whole time when he's outside. He's going to see people a lot worse. Let's put it that way. There's going to be a lot worse he's going to see. And if he's going to struggle to handle that, then, you know, he's got some huge problems, which he clearly has anyway. And second of all, you know, it's your body. Do what the fuck you like. If you don't want to wear a bra, it's not like you're flashing your titties everywhere. It's just you're not wearing a bra. I mean, come on, man. Let's go down in the comments and see what we can find. Bitter Nerdette says, "Not the arsehole. Your body is your body, no one else's. A, he should not be looking at his cousin this way. B, your aunt should not be trying to sexualise you or your cousin. C, if he had an issue, he should have stepped out and away, rather than letting his mum make a scene. And if he didn't say something and she kicked off, does she really have that little faith about her son, that he would sexualise his cousin that way?" Lil Moy says, "It is not a woman's job to keep a man's mind away from dirty thoughts." Cleveland Cray says, "Absolutely not the arsehole. Your aunt was out of line for asking you to change. Being a porn addict doesn't mean you can't be around women. Plus, you are his cousin and she is sexualizing you. That is completely out of line." Leho7 says, "Seriously, porn addiction and sexualization of women are 2 separate issues. If he couldn't control his sexual urges and live around women, then his porn addiction wouldn't have been an issue. Porn addiction usually messes up with your ability to engage in interpersonal sexual relationships." And again, I turn it to you guys, and only answer if you feel like it. What do you guys think of this situation? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on the poll in the description. And our next story is from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for telling my husband I shouldn't have to do the dishes and/or cook every night? My husband and I celebrated our 10th wedding anniversary last month. We have 5 kids, 11 male times 2, 8 female, 5 female and 3 female. I got pregnant with the twins while in college, and in order to prevent me from quitting school, we agreed he would support the family working construction until I finished law school. After I got my job at my firm, we switched roles, and now I'm the sole provider while he's a stay-at-home dad. The type of law I practice has gotten extremely busy due to the pandemic, and I've been falling behind on my chores. In the past, my husband and I had an agreement that every night we take turn cooking and doing dishes. I also do litter boxes and pick up dog doo from the garden because my husband hates dealing with poop. Whatever, I don't mind. The past few weeks at work have been stressful though, so I've suggested to my husband we hire some help around the house so that he can start taking the load of cooking/dishes off me all the time. He started lecturing me on how we already order out 2 to 3 times a week anyway, since I decided to go vegan last year. I don't push it on the family though, and that's not fair for me to expect him to do both cooking and dishes in the same night when he's always stuck to the agreement where I'm a stay-at-home mum. When I tried to object this by saying it's different now because 1, he doesn't go to school full time like I was doing being a stay-at-home mum, and 2, we can afford a cleaning service now because we make more money than we did before. His response to this was pulling up his freaking spreadsheets on Excel that he keeps records of our finances in. I started getting really annoyed because it just felt condescending. Don't get me wrong, I understand that managing the household funds is something that's always been in his department because I tend to be a frivolous spender, but still. Anyway, I got tired of arguing about money, so I offered to do the chores like take out the garbage or do laundry instead. I hate the way he folds laundry anyway, but at least he knows to iron my work clothes. But he wasn't hearing a word I said. We ended up getting into a really big fight about it, and now I'm starting to feel bad because he's been pretty distant over the past few days. The only meals he's made have been in the instant pot, or something boring like grilled cheese or Stufa's enchiladas, which especially sucks considering his homemade enchiladas are one of the best things he makes. The whole situation just kind of bites in general because I feel like we're at an impasse. Instead of communicating, we're just being passive aggressive. I don't know what to do or say to him that will make him feel better, so hopefully some online feedback will give us perspective we need. Am I the arsehole here, Reddit? I'm kind of at a loss with this one, so I'm going to go straight down in the comments and see what we can see down there. Jades7789 says, "You're the arsehole. You're suggesting a cleaner not because you want to help your husband with the chores, but because you want him to do yours. That's disrespecting him. It's not actually about the money here. It's about you not honouring your end of the bargain because you think you're better than that. There's other bits in this that make you sound like the arsehole, but at least he knows to iron my work clothes. The only meals he's made have been something boring like, you make him sound like a servant." Bone Girl 6 replies to this saying, "How exactly does she think she's better? She's working her tail off all day, probably overtime if she's like any other lawyer I know. It's extremely understandable that she doesn't want to come home and prepare dinner. He's not willing to change with the circumstances." Sugar Carl says, "No one's an arsehole here. You'll need to talk to them and re-find your ground with each other. These things can be reworked. Why are the kids not picking up the cleaning chores or being supervised through them?" Awkward Unicorn says, "Everyone sucks here. You made the deal and now you're changing it, but your husband needs to understand that your workload is increased. A piece of advice, you have 2 11-year-olds, so maybe it's time for them to lend a hand, providing they can reach the sink." Gleeful Vector of Chaos says, "Everyone sucks here. You guys really need to work on your communication because it's clearly not working. Have another talk about your chores. Maybe it's some time to work out a new agreement. If you've had the agreement since you started working, it's probably due a refresh anyway. Work out which chores you each prefer and work from there, while making sure it's still fair. Yeah, your job might be stressful, but staying at home with 5 kids, especially in a pandemic, is no walk in the park either. The other thing is your finances. You saw it as condescending that he brought out a spreadsheet, but then admitted yourself that it's necessary because you're not the greatest with the money. He might have a good reason to worry about your finances, and you need to work out if bringing in extra help is even within your budget. I said everyone sucks here because of your communication. Even here you're dropping a lot of passive aggressive comments about him. At least he knows how to iron my work clothes, and him being petty about dinner isn't being helpful either." So we got a whole mixed bag of no one sucks, everyone sucks, OP sucks, and the husband doesn't suck as well. So I don't know on this one. I'm totally confused. So I turn it to you guys. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description. Anyway guys, thank you for being here today. If you did enjoy, don't forget to click that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell too. The time out of your day is truly appreciated. And I know I say that every time, but I really do mean it. Thank you so much for your support, and I will see you in the next one. Take care now guys. Much love to you.